That monkey's funny. Disconnect the call. Disconnect the call. Disconnect the call. Call. Give me a moment. I am setting up. There we go. That's it. Live dashboard. Pardon me. There's really not a an option that does this justice, but that's fine. Is there a save button? Okay, we're good. Alright, hi guys. Alright, so my name is Jordan, and today I'm going to show you what I've been doing with my computer project I've been doing for Udacity. Those who don't care about code, you should leave now, but if you want to stick around, I'm about to show you. So basically what I've been doing is this big giant file I have here on the left hand side of my screen. I'm just going to scroll through it real quick. You're not going to be able to read the whole thing. But basically I'm just working on user registration. Now before we get started, whoever's not interested in the details, you'll have to skip later in the video. Actually, no, we're going to do this now. So the way this works is whenever you go to register on my website for this app that I'm building, the web server's gonna eventually direct you to something that looks like my website and then a version of this address here, and you're gonna submit a put request to this address, and you're gonna give your first name, your last name, a middle name, an email address. Only the first name, last name are required at first. But when you register, I'm probably gonna make email required, but I'm gonna try this thing where people can implicitly register for whatever they want. But for now, we're just gonna do this. So we're gonna hit the send button. Of course. Because live debugging. I must have left. It's probably in the input. I know it is. None type is not iterable. So okay. So I'm just gonna have to add if Google Scopes Just quick, cheap, dirty, because I gotta go to bed soon. Quick, cheap, dirty. Hopefully that fixes it. By the way, whoever's watching, this address is live. You can get to this anywhere in the world as long as the server's up. We're going to try this one more time and hope this works. And it does. All these fields you see here eventually will be fully populated when necessary. But this is how it works. Eventually you can supply a Google login token. That'll be something I give later. But now here's the important part. Say you accidentally registered under the wrong name. Well, oh, right. You don't want to put this here. My bad. You don't want to put that here. That's not how it's going to look like. But that's one way of it happening. So let's say that you registered under the wrong name or you had a typo. So we're going to change this put request to a post request, and then we're going to say, well, I want to change my name to like Brendan Miller, and I want to change my email address to, well, whatever. This token has to be different, though. Every time you submit this, I haven't told it not to. I haven't figured out how to deal with the token being the same for the same user. It'll keep saying, "Oh wait, maybe it'll work this way." I forgot. Maybe I didn't ask it to update this one. What's it gonna say? Yep, it changed everything. Yep, that's right. It changed everything. And now the first name is Brendan, the last name is Miller, the middle name is still Taylor because we didn't change that. And something cool, well, at least about when you register, I don't know if I've solidified it whenever you do a post request, but whenever you try to register again with the same username, it's going to say, hey, look, that already exists. Nope, sorry. If you try under a different username with the same email address, and you hit send, oh, look, that email address is already registered from another user. You can't do that. Sorry. So if you were to say change that and try to submit a new user, oh, look, someone already has that Google token. I'm sorry, you can't use that one again. This one's especially important because all of those things help me identify a user uniquely, and I can't allow someone to have the same token as someone else because that's basically a key to their lock of their Google account that they've entrusted with me, and two people should not have the same account key because that means that when someone logs in and I identify them as that person, there's a chance that one or both of them might get a completely wrong key, or they may not get their key at all and I have issues. So it's just better to keep it unique and work around problems that happen there. Post put. Oh, right. And if you just want to get user information, you just set a GET request, or you can actually do this in your browser by just normally typing it in like this, and you hit GET, and it said it wasn't found. Ooh, that's not good. What about this one? I know this one exists. Oh, yep, there we go. There you go. I'm there. That's me. Actually, that's kind of a name I used to use when I was younger, very young. Well, uh, as despite this, there are some other changes that I made today. I also made some changes to the front page. For those who haven't seen this already, when you go to the website once it's up and deployed, it's not deployed yet. I haven't gotten time to actually put it up for people to check it out while I'm not at my computer. I'm just going here, and please forgive the weird styling. It's going to be a work in production for a long time. Ooh, I made an error. Oopsie. Let me correct that just a minute. That will not take long to fix. I know how to fix that. There are not a lot of things that I say I know how to fix. But you're a web developer, Jordan. You're a full stack web developer. You're the expert. You're supposed to know everything. And I say, you know what? The biggest part about my experience as a developer is knowing that I know absolutely nothing. I know, compared to all of the things that you need to know, that you should know, that you have to know to do this right, and compared to all of the people that have been doing this for longer than I have, I know nothing. Every day I encounter a problem and I'm like, I don't know how to solve this. Let's figure it out. Followed by days, weeks, or sometimes even months of heavy research and tinkering until I find something that works, and then something comes along and oops, that breaks it, so I have to find something new. I haven't even implemented testing yet, and I need to because I'll have to restart the server. I'm going to change that. I need to because I can't keep manually testing every little thing. So the point of this is okay. So we're here at our home page, right? And there's not a lot really that you can try out right now. I've been working on um, getting the create, read, update, and delete on the user database thing working for so long that I haven't had a lot of time to do any of the front page work. I did a little bit just to have something to show. Oh, and by the way, the font size does grow and shrink with the web page, thanks to viewport with units. I don't even have to use any external libraries to do that. That's native in any web browser these days. So if you want to, you can try Google Login. Google Login works to an extent. I don't necessarily think you should do Facebook Login. Facebook Login doesn't do anything. I haven't set that up yet. But if you click Sign in with Google, well, there you go. That was it. Since I've already logged in, it's given me the token and the scope here. Yeah, that's going to be important for later, and I haven't done anything with it yet, but eventually I want to have the user go here while I'm developing, and it with their permission while they're logged in, it shows all of their user information, but only they can see it, right? They shouldn't be able to get it if someone else is logged in, hopefully. But I haven't gotten there yet. I've been so busy trying to work on that. All right, so whoever's not interested in hearing nitty-gritty details, the video ends here for you. Otherwise, I'm going to take another few minutes to walk through a few of the problems that I had and my thoughts on how it should have been easy to begin with. We're going to go back over here. We're going to take a few seconds to pause. Okay, so we're going to go over here, and we're going to go to the put function. That's what this is, not the put, the post, or the update function. These 10 lines of code here that I have on my screen, I'm telling you, bugged me forever. Like for 2 weeks, I was in the back of my mind trying to figure out how I was going to look at a variable in Python, a object in Python, and without knowing what the object was or what values it had in it. Well, actually, I knew the possible values, but I didn't know which ones would have anything in it, and I didn't want to have to deal with if this is none, don't do anything. If this is not none, don't do something for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 different keys, because the file was 3 times as long as it should have been about a week ago. So I had spent extra time trying out new things, and this isn't even the end of this part, because there is a lot more that I need to do to make sure that I'm getting this right. But basically what this says is when you submit a form, it's gonna take all of the form data, it's gonna break it up into variables, and it's gonna give me a variable args. And I'm telling Python for every possible value in the arguments, I want you to get the value of that argument and store that here in new value. And then I want you to inspect the current user object and get the current value, get the current key, and see if that exists. If that doesn't exist, it's going to throw an error, which is just gonna come down here and it's gonna continue. It's not gonna care, because if the attribute doesn't exist, I don't care. I'm sure that's going to have problems later, but for now, I don't care if the attribute exists, so I'm just going to have it continue. This just prints something out to the console to make sure that you know, I know what I'm doing, what's going on in the program. It's helpful to have some print statements here and there. If the new value, if the value you're trying to change is the same as the value that was there, or what you're trying to change is your username, I added a statement here that said continue this and debug this, because I don't want people to be able to change their usernames just yet. I'm not quite sure how that will go, because when you try to change your username, there's a potential for someone to try to change to a username that already exists, and I haven't handled that anywhere yet. So I'm not allowing that yet, since the username right now is the main identifying piece of information. So anyways, if they try to change their username, I'm not allowing that. So I told it to continue on with the next item in the list. And this continues over and over and over until there's no more arguments to parse, to go through, I mean. And if none of these checks fail, actually, if these checks fail and there isn't anything like this happening, it tells Python to find the value here and set it with the new one. And this took me, I swear, I kid you not, this took me weeks to figure out, and it's basic and it's part of the Python library, and this is often why my projects take longer than they should, because I'm missing key basic knowledge that should have already been known, but I didn't, so I had to learn it on my own. And for anybody watching this thinking that this is like out of this world, like I don't know how he does this, I'm going to tell you something right now. It's going to come from the truth, and no professional or technician is really going to ever say this to you, and I don't want to ruin our credibility. But for us technical folks, we have to pretend like we know everything, because if we don't, we lose your credibility. But the truth is, we don't know everything, and we aren't perfect, and the more we're able to admit that we don't know something, the more we can learn. And I started this 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. All started with HTML, really, basic web pages. Um, if you can learn English and words and all of that, you can learn how to write code. Writing code is the easy part. Um, Putting code together to make something is the challenge. Really, it is. I want you guys to understand that it took me forever to get here. I struggled hard. I gave up often. I got so frustrated sometimes because I didn't have any help. I did it all on my own. I didn't know who to turn to. Um, and I kept coming back to it. There's just something about me in this where I hate losing. I really do. There are some things that I hate losing to, and it's one of them is this. Is I hate the feeling of knowing that I lost. And that's what kept pushing me to come back over and over and over again. And I'm not necessarily going to say anyone can do it. It takes a lot of time commitment to learn a skill like this. It's not something you could necessarily pick up in a day. Um, you could probably pick up basic stuff in a couple of days. Um, yeah, and no, I don't have some fancy master's degree that tells me what I'm doing. I literally I rely on the internet when I don't know how to solve a problem, and when I don't have the internet doesn't say anything, I keep thinking and I keep trying new things, and I fail and I fail and I fail until I find the success. And yeah, I struggle with feeling like an imposter sometimes. I really do. I feel like I lie to people when I say I'm a developer, but I am. I do this a lot. All this. This was mine. All my work from third-party libraries that are freely available on our internet. The crazy thing about this is if you're willing to take help from videos and tutorials and take the time to break it down and learn how to think like a computer and understand them, there isn't anything you can't do. It's ironic because I used to believe the exact opposite. But I love this. I love the fact that in this domain I can make pretty much anything I want happen if I can figure out how to make it happen. I love how I can tell a computer to do what I want and it does it. If you love playing fantasies of, you know, controlling the world or something, not really doing it in real life, but you can make a computer do whatever you want. So I'm sure certain people can get a kick out of that. The important part here today was I thought I would have to implement something super hard, and I would have to teach Python how to look at its own self and figure out what's inside of an object. But no, really, I thought um, I kept searching for, I searched Python reflection, and that was it. That's all I needed right then and there. I am so lucky I am in the age of the internet, because it would have taken me weeks or maybe even years to figure that out. I would have had to scour the internal libraries and stuff. Well, that's really all I wanted to show you today. There's really not much else to look at right now. But legitimately, it's in the works. It I've today's what today is Friday. I have about 22 days to finish this. There's not a lot there, and there may not be a lot when I turn it in. But the thing is it's not going to end up like this. I'm not going to shelve it like this. This is not the way it's going to end. I would love to make this something that I show people that here's what I did. And this is why I'm making YouTube videos every now and then when I can remember to actually record, because it's important that I document my thoughts. Another thing is, with this, I thought when you let's go up to get for a second. Okay, so when you query the database, when you get something from the database, um, you use the syntax kind of like this. And I thought you could for loop over this, but you can't. It's not compatible with for loops by default. You have to actually write the code that does the for loops yourself. And I was like, oh, that's gonna be a pain. And then I discovered this, and it was like 10 lines of code. I was like, yes! Yes! I don't have to engineer for loops on a library I don't understand from scratch. Oh, hallelujah. I'm being dramatic, but I was so relieved. So relieved. Well, oh wow, it is really late, so I should get to bed now. If thanks for watching, whoever's still watching, and thank you so much for checking me out today. I'll probably keep posting vlogs like this as I go. We'll see how it goes. Thanks guys for watching. Bye.